All right, let's desire map. It's not awkward. Is desire map a verb? Whatever. We're gonna do this. So first of all, I would encourage you, if you're more interested in going a little deeper with this, that you get the actual book, because the first part of the book is going through kind of talking about desire and what desire really means, and how it's okay to be honest about the fact that you desire things, and all of that stuff. So it's a really good read if you kind of feel like I did at the beginning, where you kind of feel awkward sometimes asking for what you need in life, and you feel selfish kind of admitting that there are things that you want, and how sometimes it feels like that might contradict like your contentment in life and stuff. And so I really enjoyed this first part of the Desire Map book where it went through that, but instead of giving this to you for free, I'm gonna say to go ahead and support artists and go ahead and buy your book. So the guiding premise of the Desire Map is answering the question, how do you want to feel? And a good quote from the book for part of that is, knowing how you actually want to feel is the most potent form of clarity that you can have. Generating those feelings is the most powerful creative thing you can do with your life. You're not chasing the goal itself. You're not chasing these things that you're planning for and that you're hoping for, like in these tangible ways of numerical goals or monetary goals or weight loss goals or whatever it is. You're not chasing the goal itself. You're chasing the feelings that you hope attaining these goals will get you. So that's kind of the whole premise, that's the whole idea. That's why we do this, to kind of shift our perspective, to make sure that it's not about these specifics that we've put on ourselves. It's about these feelings that we're wanting to get, and that's why we've made up these goals for ourselves. So as you're going through like this process, there are obviously like the different parts of your lives where you have different feelings come in that maybe aren't always in every category, but really important feelings that you want within specific categories. So the first category is like lifestyle. So that's like your job, your home life, your style, what's in your house, what do you wear, how do you travel, do you stay cozy at home, those kind of things. So like your lifestyle. And then you also have like your physical self, so your body, your wellness. How do you want your body to feel? How do you want to feel about your body? And then you've got your mind. So you've got creativity, learning new things. How do you want to approach your mental life and your mental health and your intellectual self? And then you've got your relationships and society. So how do you want to feel about other people? How do you want other people to feel about you? How do you want to feel about the way you approach them and interact with them? And then you've got your spiritual self. How do you want to feel about your inner self? How do you want to approach your spiritual life? Whatever that may be. What about trusting your intuition and things like that? And so those are kind of the different parameters and the different areas that come into play when it comes to choosing like 3 or 5 words that kind of overarch our whole selves. So the first few questions, if you want to grab pencil, pen, if you want to just type it out on notes on your phone, on your computer, whatever, but I'm basically going to be desire mapping on camera, because why not? This is a YouTube channel and people are all about getting personal on the internet. So kind of some mental warm up, basically like word association, rapid fire. What do you crave? For me, I feel like I constantly crave a sense of freedom, purpose, I crave room for creativity. I crave connection with other people, and I crave space to be fully myself. I crave this feeling of being healthy and vibrant and alive, and I crave time for my spiritual life, and I crave opportunities to grow my mind and learn new things and be curious. I crave coziness a lot. I crave good music, and I crave inspiring films to watch. I crave time with my dogs, and I crave adventure, specifically adventure with my husband. And I crave warm things. Like when it comes to actual like food and physical tangible things, I crave warm things, and I crave spicy things, and I crave things that make me feel like I'm treating myself. I crave caffeine. Is that a thing, or is that an addiction? I crave a feeling of significance and that I'm changing the world. I crave opportunities to see new things. Again, that kind of goes with adventure, but you know, it's kind of important to play with words a little bit. Other than time or money, what do you want more of? I want more adventure. I want more community. I want more quality time with people I love. I want more opportunities to create out of my own creation, not just for things being given to me to create. I need to give myself more permission to be. I think I need to give myself more permission to kind of be protective of my own boundaries, of being able to say, this is what I can do for this week, for this project, for all of this is my boundary. And if I go outside of it, I'm sacrificing quality of work or quality of life, and I'm just not willing to do that. I need to give myself permission to say those things more often. I think I need to give myself permission to do things without looking for outside accountability. Specifically with my health, I think I need to give myself permission to just do it. Like to not wait for friends or family to join in, or to find a buddy to go to the gym with, or to find this person to help me know what to eat, like to just do it. I need permission to, I think I continuously need to give myself permission to be brave, and specifically in standing in who I am and what I think and how I feel and how I want to present myself to the world. I want to give myself more permission for ambition and for like kind of hustling towards a goal, because sometimes that feels gross to me, but I know that I want it. I want to be the best. I want to watch this business grow, and I need to give myself permission to admit that sometimes. What is different about you? I think for me, I have a couple things that I feel like set me apart from other people. Not from everyone, it doesn't make me extra unique, but I feel like what makes me uniquely me is, first of all, like I cannot explain well the way in which I love people, regardless of what they feel about me, which sometimes has been a serious pain point. If I know you, I love you. And if I love you, I would legitimately give my life for you. There's no gray. There's no in between. And that extends to people that I barely know. If I know you at all, I probably love you. If you were a bride of mine, I care deeply about you, and I want to know the rest of your life. And if you're a client of mine, I don't just want to know this business that you're working on. I want to know your heart and why you feel like you're here on this planet. I don't do small talk well, because I'm so obsessed with people, and I want to know the stories that make you you. And I think that the way that is kind of just this all-encompassing feeling impacts the way I maneuver throughout the world, and the way I maneuver throughout my company, and the work that I produce is kind of coming from that context. I think that I also have a really intense sense of what I think is right and wrong. And that's not like a black and white rules thing. It's a gut thing. That the way someone is being treated or the way something is being approached, I have a really intense gut check if the motives aren't right and it feels wrong, or if somebody is going to suffer because of it and it feels wrong, or things like that. And I feel like it's been one of my biggest assets, and it's what set me apart, because once I feel like something is right or wrong, I will adjust my entire self accordingly. If it is wrong, I will not participate. If I feel like it's wrong, it doesn't matter if it's trendy or if it will make me more money or whatever it is, I will have no part of it. If it's a person who I feel like is living life in a way that I feel is not right, I will disassociate. And I think that it's an intense way to live sometimes, and I know that about myself, but it's also been my guide, and it's been what has led me to this place that I really enjoy in my life. And I think it does set me apart because I live with pretty intense conviction. I think that I'm an empathetic storyteller, that when I say that, so when I'm trying to tell somebody's story, I'm in it with them. I don't adopt it as my own story because that's problematic, but I do feel it, and I use that empathetic connection to make sure I'm treating the story with the utmost respect, and to make sure that I am sharing it with as many people as possible, and that I'm not just listening to someone answer my own questions, that I'm really listening to go deeper, and I want to hear the subtext of what they're saying because I feel it. And I will fight for that story too, because I've felt that intense empathetic connection. I will fight for it, and I will fight for its worthiness and for the fact that it deserves to be heard. And so I think that those are kind of things that set me apart. I can also be really weird and really sarcastic. And I have the most eclectic taste ever. Those are also things that set me apart. Where does your joy come from? I feel weird saying this, but my joy comes from work. My joy comes from other people, and it comes from creating. Whether the creation is for work, whether it's something like this that I'm trying out, whether it's through music, my joy comes from that. And my joy comes from my home. I love sitting in my house with my dogs and my husband and watching something that we love. My joy comes from feeling like I am playing a part in letting someone know that they're not alone. And I think my joy also comes from seeing and learning new things, and from experiencing some kind of adventure. Granted, I do feel like something as simple as going to a grocery store can be an adventure. It doesn't have to be big, but I love adventure. And now let's start a long list of words that are your favorite feelings. What are the feelings you find yourself seeking out most often, and your favorite ones? Like when you feel this way, you never want to leave kind of feelings. My favorite feelings are peace, coziness, curiosity, creative, balance, joy, connection with somebody, fulfillment. The list goes on and on. I love words and I love feelings, so we won't go through my entire list. Now, part 2 of the desire map process is to think through what's not working. Because even like whenever I give people like rough drafts of videos, I always say, you don't know what you want until you know what you don't want. And I think that was very true in my process of desire mapping and going through my word of the year idea. Is that once I kind of knew really strongly the ways I didn't want to feel anymore, the feelings I want to leave behind for the year, I can start thinking, okay, well, what do I have to feel in order to make sure there's no room for this other feeling that I need out of my life? So for this, let's kind of bring some balance to it. Let's, on one side of a piece of paper or whatever, I want you to list your life right now. What are you thankful for? What's really working? And where is your gratitude laying in that? And then what isn't working? Where are the places that it's hardest to find that sense of gratitude with? And it kind of gives you that good full spectrum of what is working and what isn't working, and where you find yourself sort of getting towards those core desired feelings and where you can feel them a mile away. And some of them can be things that maybe can't change. That's totally fine. I remember at one point, mine was where I worked. It was a toxic place and I didn't want to be there anymore. And I knew that there were some things that weren't going to change until I got out of that. But I was honest about it. I put it down and I helped. And that kind of became a guiding principle for my life of what will get me out of this situation to make sure these other feelings can come in. So you can be as raw and as honest as you want. I think for me, what isn't working is the pressure I put on myself. I am a perfectionist to the point that when I feel like I failed, I stop and leave. And that is obviously not a good way to live my life. I feel like I'm not very good at stopping and resting without guilt. Basically, guilt isn't working for me, but it's in my life a lot. And it is 100% self-imposed. I think my feelings of comparison when it comes to specifically my business are not working for me, and I need to let those go. Those are some examples of things that are not working, that I need to bring another feeling in so well that there's no room for those other ones. Now we get to come up with our core desired feelings. Are you ready? So, if you were listening to me and writing down your own words and paying attention, you probably noticed there were words that came out quite a bit. So some of mine that I heard myself say a lot that I wasn't necessarily thinking about were like strong and vibrant and bold and valued. Those are kind of the ones that are coming through as far as, if not the exact word, but in theme. So I want you to start paying attention to that. And over the next week or so, really start to think about, is that truly what I feel I want to feel? And you'll start to pay attention. You'll start to notice these themes come out in your life. And that is the really boiled down way on how to desire map. The book goes into so much detail, and I would really recommend you get it. # not sponsored. Just love it. And then comes the hard part. After you know your words, you have to figure out how to live to bring those things in. And that is a discussion for another day, much farther down the road. But you'll know. You'll start to see the things that make you feel the way that you want to feel, and you'll start to see the way you'll have to structure your day and your job and your relationships to really bring those feelings in. It's all part of listening to your intuition and getting to know yourself a little better. And So in the comments below, if you want to, you can tell me your words. And if one word has come through as your actual word for the year, I want to know that. And if you have any questions, I want to know that. And I love you. I want you to know that. And I will see you next time.